Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving into an absolutely monumental clash, a complete explainer of the 2026 FIFA World Cup final between Spain and Argentina. Set against the massive backdrop of New York and New Jersey, with Bastian Dankert blowing the whistle, this game was a total tactical and physical roller coaster. We're going to cut right through the noise and figure out exactly how this modern epic was won and lost. They say it's the day a planet stops for a game. And honestly, that hit the nail on the head. This wasn't just a match, it was a global standstill. Just think about the atmosphere for a second. Right when the ball rolled, it was 9 o'clock on a sweltering Sunday night in Madrid and 4 o'clock on a freezing, dark winter afternoon down in Buenos Aires. Two completely different worlds, totally united by 90 minutes of football. It's that immense pressure cooker environment that makes everything that happened on the pitch so absolutely fascinating. Act 1. Setting the historic stage. Before the game even kicked off, the story was already being written by how these two heavyweights actually got to New York. Spain rolled in with a completely unaltered squad, coasting off a near-flawless semifinal win in Dallas. And, crucially, they had an extra day of rest. Argentina, on the other hand, they also had a fully fit squad, bringing in Gonzalo Montiel, the guy who scored the winning penalty back in Qatar, plus Rodrigo de Paul and Nico Gonzalez. But the physical reality was tough. They had one less day to recover, and they were coming off an unbelievably draining, super emotional battle with England. So the physical paths for these two teams, literally, night and day. And man, the individual milestones at play here were just staggering. Fabian Ruiz was stepping out for his 50th cap, acting as Spain's metronome in midfield. Mico Oyarzabal was sitting on 5 tournament goals, literally one away from tying a Spanish record. And then you have Lamine Yamal. The young kid had miraculously won all 12 senior tournament games he'd ever started. But there was one milestone that honestly rewrites the history of the sport.
Okay, let's dive into this. Number 3. By stepping onto that pitch in New Jersey, Lionel Messi officially became the first man in the entire history of the sport to captain a nation in 3 World Cup finals. Just let that sink in. The leadership, the sheer longevity, the unbelievable pressure on his shoulders to carry his country on the ultimate stage again. That stat right there elevates this from a championship game to an absolute era-defining moment.
Act 2. A tense physical battle. Now, with all that history on the line, you might have expected this beautiful flowing game right from the jump. But actually, the start was incredibly bitty. It was an intense, physical slugfest in the midfield. Alexis Mac Allister came flying in from distance with a heavy, low-stud challenge on Dani Olmo. Emiliano Martinez even left a foot in, making a save early on and snagged a yellow card. The tension was just bubbling over. Rodri went down off the ball right in the center circle, and Enzo Fernandez walked away from a massive collision on the halfway line. It was a gritty, grinding fight for control. And all of that physicality left us at 0-0 at halftime. Spain was trying to push the tempo, and we definitely saw some vintage Messi magic. Taking it away from his man with that impossible first touch. But the breakthrough just wouldn't come. Fun fact, as they walked down the tunnel, the United States was actually still waiting to see its first ever goal in a Men's World Cup final. The tension was agonizing.
Act 3. Martinez holds the line.
So you're probably wondering, how did a Spanish squad that looked so flawless in Dallas fail to score in regular time? Well, we have to look at the defining defensive storyline of the match. Now, what's really interesting here is that number, 10. Emiliano Martinez made 10 crucial saves in this final. That was the most of any keeper on the pitch. In a game of razor-thin margins, Argentina's goalie was a total brick wall. Let's look at what he actually had to deal with. He stuffed an early effort from Lamine Yamal, even with 3 Argentine shirts rushing the play. He had this heart-in-your-mouth moment where he spilled a wildly swerving free kick from Dani Olmo, but managed to scramble and recover it. And right at the death of regular time, he denied Yamal again from a super dangerous spot in position A1, tipping it out for a corner. And this brilliantly illustrates how Martinez basically single-handedly dragged Argentina to that 0-0 whistle. He was flat-out refusing to let Spain take the crown. Which brings us to the massive question of the day. Could Spain actually break through this deadlock? After being repeatedly denied by Martinez and just watching Fran Torres miss their best chance of regular time after some beautiful wing play, how are they going to respond, mentally and physically, heading into a grueling extra time?
Act 4. The championship breakthrough.
So we're into extra time. Legs are heavy, that heat is taking its toll, and it's clear one flash of brilliance is going to decide the champion of the world. Let's move to and see how this builds. The exact sequence where Spain finally shattered that Argentine defense. First, Nico Williams does brilliantly on the wing to keep a loose ball alive. Then, Ferran Torres finds himself in a prime spot. Now, this is crucial. He actually had time to think about it. And you know, when you have time, it is so easy to panic and blast it over the bar. But Torres just sets himself, aims right at the net, and thunders in a remarkably clinical finish.
He has just fulfilled every childhood dream. He has just scored the winning goal in the World Cup final. That call just captures the pure, unadulterated emotion of the moment, doesn't it? Torres's clinical right boot gave Spain the lead they were starving for, and suddenly, Argentina was staring up at an absolute mountain with the clock ticking down.
Act 5. Spain claims second star.
Now, the goal was in, but the fight wasn't over. Let's map out those frantic closing seconds. Torres almost broke away again, trying to bend his run, but getting flagged offside by, like, millimeters. Then, with time virtually up, Emiliano Martinez desperately launches a massive long ball deep into the Spanish penalty box. But Spain holds firm. They win that critical first contact in the air. The final whistle echoes across New Jersey. And, in a classic bit of football chaos, Leandro Paredes incidentally picks up an academic red card in a scuffle after the match was officially over.
So the crucial point is this: Spain are the champions of the world for 2026. By surviving the physical onslaught, keeping their tactical shape, and finding that one perfect clinical strike from Ferran Torres, Spain officially secured their second star on the world stage.
Which leaves us with this final thought to chew on. With a historic second star secured and having overcome a deeply experienced, incredibly disciplined Argentine side, what does this victory mean for the future of global football? Are we witnessing the dawn of a new, highly technical Spanish dynasty? It is definitely something to think about as you reflect on the incredible sequences we covered today. Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep analyzing, keep learning, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.